So welcome everybody to Adapt to SaaS Customer Expectations with Salesforce Data Management. I'm excited that we have people from orgs all over the world, and also a special welcome to some of our current customers. First, let me walk you through our speakers and agenda for this webinar. On the left, we have Tim van der Span. Tim is my colleague and he is our product manager. He talks to a lot of our clients and prospects and to gather input for product roadmap, segmentation and targeting. He also does a lot of research into data quality. In the middle, we have Jakub Klimaszewski from Booksy. Booksy is the world's leading platform for connecting beauty and wellness professionals with clients. And Jakub manages the company's data quality efforts as global head of Salesforce and is in charge of everything Salesforce related as well, of course. And last but not least, on the right, we have Peter Zandstra. Peter is our sales manager and has years of experience solving data management issues for enterprise clients. And as for the agenda, first up, we have Tim, who will share the latest market insights regarding increased competition in the world of SaaS and the main differentiators between SaaS solutions. Second, Tim will interview Jacob, and Jacob will share how Booksy took their customer experience to another level, in part by eliminating data quality issues. And third, but certainly not least, but last, Peter will perform a live demonstration of our data management solutions for Salesforce, and Peter will focus on some familiar use cases for SaaS and software companies. The total time for this webinar is approximately 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the questions. And yes, we will be sharing a recording with all of you. If you have any questions during the webinar, please use the Q&A button in Zoom. It's in the Zoom control panel to ask your questions, or you can also use the chat as well. I will be keeping an eye on that. And we will answer them in the Q&A section as the last part of this webinar. This webinar is brought to you by Plauti. Plauti offers data management solutions for Salesforce. You might know us from our Plauti data management suite, duplicate check or record validation, but there's more coming up, but I will share some more info on that later. We enable Salesforce to be the single and complete source of truth by deduplicating, consolidating, standardizing, validating customer data. And the thing that's coming up is Data Action Platform. Data Action Platform will allow admins, developers, and users to run bulk actions in Salesforce. And that will all contribute to a faster speed to lead and better segmentation. What sets all of our solutions apart from the competition is that they're all nativeforce.com, so very secure and easy to learn. And we have 10 years of experience building Salesforce data management solutions and some almost 2,000 paying customers. But you don't have to believe what I tell you, just believe our clients. Go have a look at Salesforce App Exchange or G2 and read some reviews. Among those clients are some very well-known names, like you can see here with Carasoft, Richemont, Walt Disney, of course, Boston Scientific, Education First. And for SaaS specifically, we are very proud to feature Booksy, Calendly, Chili Piper, Own Backup, and Wistia as our clients. I hope you learned something new today. I'm quite sure of it. So please, Tim, take it away for the first part.
Yes, thank you, Gijs. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today from wherever you are. As Gijs said, we're first going to take a closer look at some of the latest market developments in SaaS that have an effect on data management within Salesforce. And then we'll take a closer look at an example of a company that adapted to these market conditions and its effect on data management within Salesforce by means of an interview with Booksy. And afterwards, we'll briefly showcase some small parts of our solution that help you in adapting to those market conditions. So without further ado, let's dive straight in. Let's do. So the future is actually looking really bright for SaaS. Gartner estimates that public cloud services markets will grow by 22% in 2022. And specifically for SaaS, it will increase by 16%. And this has mainly to do with consumers and business buyers worldwide wanting businesses to accelerate digital initiatives. Salesforce did a survey amongst 12,000 consumers and 3,600 business buyers worldwide. And what they found is that those business buyers and consumers, they expect businesses to offer digitalized versions of in-person products and services. As they spend more time in their home offices and living rooms as opposed to the physical office and physical stores. And especially business buyers, they expect to do more business online after the pandemic as compared to before. So all in all, this poses a really big opportunity in the future. It's really looking bright for as-a-service companies as the world has pivoted from physical to the virtual. On the other hand, we see an increased competition for SaaS. Back in 2012, on average, there were 3 competitors for every SaaS solution. And by the end of 2017, this amount has risen to 9 on average, according to BMC. And this has mainly to do with the development in SaaS. First of all, there was horizontal SaaS, which is really a solution for a business function, such as sales or marketing. And you can compare it to the current Sales Cloud from Salesforce, for instance. And over the past few years, we've seen the rise of vertical SaaS, which is a solution specifically for a specific supply chain or an industry. And searches are up over 200%, according to Exploding Topics, specifically on vertical SaaS. And the third development is micro SaaS, which are really add-ons for vertical SaaS. A vertical SaaS can be seen as a specific cloud within Salesforce, for example, the Health Cloud. And micro SaaS can be compared to specific solutions from the App Exchange for Health Cloud, for instance. And also searches for micro SaaS are really up. So this means that competition is growing, and SaaS solutions have to seek ways to differentiate themselves from their competitors other than their features, because there is always a specialized solution for every market. So one of the key differentiators that SaaS companies are now looking at is the customer experience. And when we look at customer expectations nowadays, adapting insights from the same survey we mentioned before, more than 2/3 of consumers and business buyers worldwide, they expect personalization. Well, that's a really broad term. So what is meant by it actually? They expect personalization to their unique needs and expectations. And when you do that, more than 60% of those business buyers and consumers are shown increased willingness to invest, as opposed to an alternative where the whole customer experience didn't feel as personalized. And almost half of business buyers and consumers are willing to buy on the spot. With SaaS, that's maybe a little bit difficult, but after a demo, this could happen if the process until the demo has been really personalized. So those are big chances, big opportunities. But what is meant by a positive customer experience? Well, most consumers and business buyers nowadays use multiple channels to start and complete a transaction. On average, they use 9 channels to browse inventory, seek advice, make purchases, and use services. And they expect a connected and smooth experience as they use different channels and talk to different representatives from a company. And they don't expect any bumps in the road. So these are the expectations of customers. nowadays. But when we look at the actual experience, the opposite is actually true. Most consumers don't feel they're treated as an individual. So only 1/3 of consumers and business buyers, they feel like they're treated as an individual. Over half feels like they're communicating with separate departments within a company or a brand. They feel like, specifically for business buyers, they feel like sales, marketing, and service are not sharing information. Maybe they are, but they're not using it. They're not prepared, for instance. And almost 2/3, they feel like they have to repeat or re-explain information. And this is far from a personalized experience. And this can have some severe consequences. PwC, for instance, found that 1 in 3 consumers or business buyers, they tend to switch after one negative experience, one negative customer experience. And this can happen in the pre-purchase phase, but also during the use of the solution. And over 90% abandons a brand or a solution after 2 or more negative experiences. So these can be quite severe consequences, which highlight the importance of a smooth customer experience in the complete customer journey. So we see quite a big gap between the expectations of customers and the actual experience. And to close this gap, we have to provide a smooth multi-channel, because customers expect that, a smooth experience across those channels. But this also brings about more data points and more data, consumer data, to be generated. And in order to provide a smooth experience across those channels, every employee should have access to the same customer data and the complete customer data. And this is the way to close the gap. So every customer should have a single and complete view of the customer. Now, Salesforce offers a lot of good solutions to gather customer data. But when it comes to offering a single and complete view of customer data, sometimes there can be some problems with data quality, for instance. Customer data can be fragmented among multiple records within your Salesforce. Our customer data can get outdated without doing anything. It gets outdated. Human error can cause data quality problems. There's a whole list of this, but let's take a closer look at one of the examples by means of an interview with Jacob from Booksy, to see how they try to adapt to these new market developments in SaaS, and what hurdles they had to take to get there. So I would like to welcome Jacob. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me, team. Hello, everyone.
Hi. Can you maybe briefly introduce yourself a little and Booksy?
Yes, for sure. Like Hayes mentioned, I'm a global Salesforce manager at Booksy. And what exactly is Booksy? We're the leading beauty marketplace for finding, scheduling, and managing appointments, anchored actually by the SaaS app for business management. We do business worldwide with a special focus on 4 continents and 7 key markets with over 800 employees on board.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Apparently Booksy uses Salesforce. Can you tell a little bit more what Salesforce is used for? What type of users are there, for instance? And what are the end goals, for instance?
Definitely. So our Salesforce is the key source of information and the main place of work for sales rep, for customer success, customer service rep. We treat it as a go-to place when it comes to managing relationships with our B2B clients.
Okay, I see. So could you say it should function as a single source of truth for?
Definitely, and this is what has brought us actually to Plauti.
Okay, well, great to hear. So can you tell us a little bit more about the challenge then that brought you to our solution?
Definitely, as you have mentioned, we are well aware about the discrepancy between the expectations of our customers and the actual customer experience. And the biggest challenge we have faced was the duplication of data. With our omni-channel approach to lead generation, to merchant generation, this has led to some issues. For instance, we reach out to our potential merchants via performance advertising, via field sales, landing pages, blogs, or even data that we get from some external companies. And this has actually led us to having the same record for the same business multiple times from different channels, of course, but the same merchant could have been in our database 2, 3, or even 4 times, which was actually multiplied by the fact that we lead multiple customer contact channels like email, phone, WhatsApp, or in-app chat.
I see. Okay. And when you look at the effects of this bad data quality, those duplicates, can you tell us a little bit more about the impact it was having on business, for instance?
Definitely. You can imagine being a business with a busy schedule that we actually try to alleviate, and we have 2, 3, or 4 different sales reps trying to reach out to the same customer. So we turn 300 customer experience 360 into multiple touch points with multiple people, and this was an experience that we didn't want to provide to our customers. Afterwards, after we were closing the deal, the same thing could have happened for the retention phase. So we could have a few success reps or customer success reps reach out to the same merchant. So this has led to, as you have mentioned, to repeating information, to the customer experience that wasn't up to par with what our merchants were expecting and what we wanted to provide as a company. Apart from that, I can mention things that were problematic on our operational side. For instance, trying to figure out the commission structure for if we had 4 people reaching out to the same customer and this customer converting, try to tell 3 of these guys that they will not be seeing the commission for the sales. So as you can imagine, this has caused a lot of issues, both internally and with our end customers.
Yeah, I see. A lot of frustration, yeah. And maybe harming team morale even, or motivation. Well, you decided to use our solution to solve these challenges. Can you tell us a little bit more about in what way our solution is helping Booksy to solve these challenges?
Definitely. So we have set up, with help of your team, we have managed to set up multiple scenarios for finding matching duplicates based on the key data points that we found relevant. And this is what we really appreciated in your solution, that we could do the scenarios re-tailored to our needs, to the data points we found important. So we created the scenarios, and depending on the business and market needs, we enabled both manual merging for some markets, but what really made duplicate checks stand out was the auto merge and direct processing features. In our business, we have to touch our lead within 2, maybe 3 hours from first coming into our database. So it was really important for us to be able to conduct live deduplication, to be able to say, okay, when I hand over this particular lead to my sales rep, I'm 100% sure there's no duplicates in the database, because if they were, they have already been processed.
Well, that's great to hear. Is that also the reason why you chose our solution over other solutions? Or
yes, so as many of the attendees can probably attest, the duplicate solution, default Salesforce, the duplication solution is really limited, and we have struggled to make it work for our business, especially since the scenarios, the matching rules, and the actual deduplication or any automated deduplication was limited, to say the least, impossible in most cases. So we were looking for partner, and I need to stress this word. This is not a vendor relationship. This is a partner relationship who would help us make it work for our high traffic model of sales, because in our SaaS environment, this is a high traffic sales. We could do that live, and this is, to our knowledge, you were the only company that allowed us to do it in real time, and it was native to Salesforce, so the actual deployment was really easy, and we did it without the development, involving the development team.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. Did you experience any hiccups during implementing?
Yeah, for sure. This is as with every single tool, there are hiccups, but I think we've overcome all of them. The one thing I would probably mention as a hiccup that I remember was the consequences, understanding the consequences of indexing the data. We were learning the solution. Some of your success reps helped us set up initial scenarios. And then after some time, we needed to revisit the implementation to better understand the consequences of our ever-growing database of the indexing. But all in all, after a few sessions with your success team, we've managed to nail it down and make it work perfectly. I would say I haven't seen a false positive thanks to the correct approach to indexing for quite some time.
I'm glad we were able to overcome that. And good to hear, though, that there weren't any false positives. So you mentioned some impact on the business side of the bad data quality. So after using the tool for a while now, can you mention something about the results you've seen when it comes to the business side also?
Yeah, of course. First of all, the overall experience for our customers is much better. We no longer have situation with multiple reps contacting merchants. We don't get this feedback from merchants via NPS survey or reviews in the internet, which turns out great. Simple things like we used to have a team for the duplicating records that would go and do it manually. We transfer these people to do other things and better leverage their knowledge and their experience with working with Booksy, because we now do it automatically. We have one person overseeing it as just part of their job, instead of spending all day, every day, just clicking through the native Salesforce deduplication solution. This led also to higher productivity of our sales rep. They already know they will be getting the duplicated records, so no more trying to find duplicates on their own. No more, making sure the record they're getting is a proper one. The same goes for customer success and customer service. From small things, small internal things that can really sour the mood, no account or commission ownership issues or challenges. It's less friction for sales managers, saves a lot of time, and saves a lot of travel for building, team that really connects. So it really improved the overall quality, both on financially in terms of being able to free some resources, and at the same time the overall customer and experience of our sales and customer reps.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. It's great to hear. Well, thanks a lot for sharing this. Pretty sure.
I'm really glad to share this, because if we weren't satisfied, I wouldn't be taking part in this webinar.
Okay, well, great to hear. Thanks a lot, Jacob, and definitely stick around because we'll be looking at a short demo from Peter, and afterwards there might be some questions from our viewers. So definitely stick
100%.
around. All right, thanks a lot. Well, let's dive into our solution for a short moment. Peter, yeah, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. I see people are cheering on the right side of me for this demo. Let me share my screen first. So there it is. So as explained, we are a native Force application. And that means it completely operates in Salesforce, and it allows you to find duplicates in existing database, and also to make sure that they don't enter again. And as Jacob explained, there was a mismatch in the beginning, or so prior to duplicate check, using duplicate check, between the expectations of the client, who said, okay, I want a single point of contact and to really understand me. So that's what the client expects, but his experience due to duplicates was different. So you're now looking in my my lead object, which is an average Salesforce org, and this might as well be a contact object or any other object. So in fact, you see that there are duplicates, and especially in SaaS environments, companies, a lot goes digitally. So, but there could still be manual entry, but there's a lot of data coming in all of the time, 24/7. So when you open a record and there is a duplicate, there's nothing. So when you open a record, you always assume, okay, this is my single point of truth. And as Jacob explained, in fact, there were duplicates. And there were multiple reps reaching out to the same person because there were duplicates and they were not aware. So let's say it's not cleaned yet, then this component here will notify the user, any sales rep right away, if there are duplicates within, so as leads, potential clients, and maybe she is already a client. So you can directly convert as well, but at least you are made aware of this. There's just 2 clicks to say, okay, I'm going to merge this. And then it will keep all the fields based on rules you can determine. It will keep all the emails as well. So I said, okay, there's 1 email, but actually there are 3 different emails. So I'll take the second and the third email here. So that's all kept in the system. So there's no data loss. And when I hit merge, everything related, and that's important to know. So everything that comes in Salesforce, even after you use prevention, all information comes in. And upon a merge, everything related, so all cases, opportunities, everything will be reparented to the master. So you have your true single customer view. So that's just 2 clicks for a daily user. But in fact, you want to prevent that those 5 duplicates are there. So any entry point, and the easiest way for me to show is upon manual entry. So might as well be on an API created or a bulk upload, and I will show a web form. So while creating a new record, then our system will do the match right away and say, hey, there is a potential duplicate in the system here. So that will just save tons of time, and you can open that record. Upon that same entry level, and this is the example for manual entry, we can validate. So you could say, hey, I'm adding a record, and it will validate right away what type of phone it is. So that saves time upon entry manually, but also saves time for outreach. So you know it's the right country, the right phone as well. Same goes for physical emails. So when there is a failure here, then it says, okay, wow, this is not an email you can reach out. So move it away right away, or make it complete right away here. And oh, there's still a typo in it, and make that complete. So then it's you know, you can use this to reach out or add to marketing campaigns. And the same goes for addresses. You can just use that, and every address is there. So that's upon manual entry, and it will show the record right away if there are duplicates. So now back to my Jennifer, there is no duplicate within the object. The phone has been validated, so that's a correct phone, and you can also move the existing Jennifer in lead into the existing contact of Jennifer Blake, and that just moves as well. So just so say hi to data quality, since the action was successful. Everything that happens here is you can insert, or you can configure in the setup. So it's very easy. We created this that admins can do without coding. So you can create easy rules to set up and say, okay, there is any object. Let me go into lead. You can configure rules to define what are duplicates. So based on what fields, a matching method, and weighting, you can, and then apply it to any way records come in. So this will just notify, so based on what parameters, fields are you going to define what are duplicates. So this is very flexible. You can apply multiple scenarios. Then you can create logic to say, okay, what logic should it follow when I merge? So in this case, I said, okay, I want to keep all emails as well, and certain records should be there. And then the real powerful, as Jacob said, okay, the real time saving, and I know it was a mandatory thing. I would like to do things live, in a live way. So that's direct processing. So I have an example here. Direct processing allows you to say, if there is a certain matching percentage, a high percentage and up, on web forms or integrations, I want to process that fully automated. So that's directly processing. So you can identify, merge fully automated, and then everything that has a high percentage within or cross object converting, that's just processing right away. So that is very easy to set up and to configure. If you need more stuff, of course, IT is could be happy with a bit with the use of Apex. But let me show you how the direct processing works. So when I fill in this form for free tea bags, in this case, then I fill in this form. That record here comes in my Salesforce, and it will show there is a false, so it's validated right away, and that email does not exist, so it bounced. So it's worthless, but at least I know, so I'm not going to add it. And there's no duplicate at this point. Now, when I fill in this form a second time, and well, let's make a small change here, and then I fill in this form a second time, then when I go to my leads, I will see that there is just one record still. Because what happened in the background, and of course, this is still the wrong one. What happened is that the record got created and got merged fully automated. So you don't end up with two unreachable potential leads in the system. So if I look into my backlogs, so that's just showing there, then I will notify the user right away. I had form number 1, form number 2. It matches are higher than 95%, so it's process fully automated. And this doesn't matter if there is 1 record coming in every minute or what time of the day, or there are 1,000. This is just processing it. And it's processing it without losing any information. So the request for free tea bags is still on that record, or any case. Now, on commercial side, there's often Sales Cloud, but there's often also Service Cloud. And what we see on Service Cloud, and let me open a case, it's very common to say, okay, I'd like to see duplicate cases. So so from the service side, you don't reach out to the same person twice because someone sends out a request via multiple social media channels. But in fact, it could also show, okay, the person related to it, is there duplicate information as well? So that's also handy. So both for the sales as for the service teams in this environment, it could help duplicate check. Now, the initial cleanup, and that's where most people start, there is a duplicate challenge. So now we've filled the gaps, but we need to clean up as well. And that's in the batch environment. In the batch environment, everything that comes in an automated way that is not processed directly is putting here in a queue. So then someone can review and do mass merging. But you can also clean existing database, give it a name, and select the object of choice. And then on one or multiple scenarios. And when you have those results, filter, schedule them, auto merge. Then when the results are in, then you can go into results. Let me go into these results here, which are already present. The other one takes a couple of seconds. Then you could easily say, okay, I have my results, and quick merge and go like this. Or the real time-saving part to do masking, so you could be duplicate-free before the Christmas. So when you have it, so these results are in as well, you could say, hey, I'm going to auto-merge those that have a certain match. I reviewed it and I said, okay, 90% and up is good to go. And then that will be merged fully automated. And this process on bulk also works also on the validation on a different job tab. But what we offer is native. Everything happens in Salesforce. It allows you to clean, to prevent, and to prevent going forward in a very easy to use. So that's what I wanted to show you. So a couple of them have a bit less than 90% results, but that's what I wanted to show you. If there is any question, do fire away.
Well, thank you, Peter, for this raving demo. I can hear the crowds cheering, so thanks a lot. You can ask your questions at the end of the webinar. We're almost there. Just to give a brief overview of our solution. In the end, we enable a true customer 360 within your Salesforce, and we do this natively. The main functionality boils down to deduplication or consolidation. We have standardization options, validation options, and we also have enrichment options via our new tool that we're adding, where you can mass update, for instance, records. And we work with all siloed and external customer data, as Peter showed, directly processing it to a unified and trusted source of customer truth. And to summarize the main functionality, first of all, you would like to clean up your whole database, and we have, we allow you to have full control in finding and cleaning bad data. We have extensive identification and correction rules that allow for fine-grained control in determining what bad data is and how you can clean it and validate it, for instance. So once your org is clean, you want to keep it clean. So you want to prevent that data from entering your Salesforce instance. And we have all sorts of point of entry protection which Peter also showed. Also functionality that empowers end users. So even human error is prevented by our solutions. Once you feel comfortable with all your settings, you can automate it. And that saves you a lot of time, just as Jacob told us. They freed up a lot of time from a complete data quality team that can now direct their time on other activities. So that's definitely a big plus for our solution, I would say. We integrate with any data source, any custom process to fit your business logic. So yeah, you name it, we have it: Apex plugins, Apex REST API, flow actions, etc. And of course, our nativeness gives you peace of mind because we follow Salesforce security, and compliance is a little bit easier because you don't have an extra system for data quality, and better data quality makes it easier to be compliant in the end with privacy regulations, for instance. Yeah, so all of this leads to your organization to be able to deliver on customer expectations, to meet them. And they are getting more important. They have been important forever, but they are actually getting really important nowadays with this increased competition and increased demands from consumers and business buyers. When you have a good data hygiene in your organization, it lifts team morale and team spirit, as we've seen also with the case of Booksy. And in the end, this increases your ROI for Salesforce. The whole intended purpose of Salesforce was to have all your customer data in one place, and to have a single and a complete customer view really tops it off. So yeah, that was basically it for today. Back to you, Gijs.
Yes, thank you, Tim, Jacob, and Peter. We will go to the Q&A now. We're a bit short on time, so I will pick 2 questions that we cover, and we will come back to the other questions personally, so do not worry if we cannot answer your question right now. I will start with a question from Michele, who says, you've mentioned and demoed how end users can contribute to data quality. Do they each require a license? Peter, can you shed some light on that, please?
I will try. Yes, the answer is no. They don't need additional license. So we believe everybody in an organization should be at least be empowered to help clean and must be made aware of possible duplicates. So we don't have license limits. So it's up to the organization who gets access to what at no additional fee. Okay, excellent. And the last question from Adam might be inspired by Jacob telling that Booksy has a lot of data and high velocity. Adam asks, is there a limit on the number of records that duplicate check can clean? Peter, maybe again for you? Technically, no, there's no limit. Contract-wise, there is a limit, but so there's no limit. So large data volumes, smaller volumes, doesn't matter. Everything can be handled on prevention and cleaning. So it doesn't matter if you have 100 million records or just 500,000. Okay, I can handle it. Everyone is welcome, of course. So yeah, with an eye on the time, we will keep it at that. If you're interested in enabling a true customer 60 for your organization, please go to our website, plauti.com, and there you can use the chat, which is in the right bottom corner, to schedule a one-on-one session, or you can navigate to the contact page and fill out a form, and we will reach out to you. And again, we will be emailing the recording to all of you. That's always the most popular question during any webinar. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope to talk to you very soon. Thanks and goodbye.
Bye-bye.